Welcome back to another Explainer. Today, we're totally ditching the modern kitchen and heading deep into the wilderness. We are going to master the ancient culinary techniques of the primitive hearth. Whether you're a seasoned bushcrafter or just fascinated by the sheer ingenuity of human survival, we're breaking down 12 essential wild cooking methods that can transform raw nature into a fully functioning off-grid kitchen. Let's dive right in.
To really wrap your head around these methods, picture this. You're deep in the woods. The air around you is thick with that rich, earthy smell of soft wood smoke, and right at your feet is a glowing, perfectly controlled campfire packed with bright red embers. That incredible sensory experience? That's exactly where our journey starts.
Okay, here's our roadmap for today's Explainer. We're going to cover mastering the survival fire, dive into direct heat cooking, explore cooking with natural vessels, earth and ash baking, boiling and preservation, and finally, wrap it all up with the ultimate primitive kitchen.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, Mastering the Survival Fire. Because let's be real, before you can cook a single bite, you've absolutely got to get your flames dialed in.
Now, you might be wondering, shouldn't I just build a giant, roaring bonfire? Actually, scratch that. Big bonfires are honestly terrible for cooking. They burn through your hard-earned wood way too fast, the heat is completely unmanageable, and you'll probably just end up scorching your dinner. What you really want is a keyhole fire. This is a small, highly concentrated setup that gives you a tightly controlled bed of hot coals. It's brilliant because it lets you get right up close to the heat, saves your firewood, and lets you dial in your cooking temps with serious precision.
And hey, the kind of wood you toss in changes the whole shebang. Throwing wet or green wood on your fire? Big mistake. It wastes all its thermal energy just trying to evaporate its own moisture. You end up with super weak heat and this blinding, acrid smoke that literally ruins the flavor of your meal. So always prioritize dry, seasoned firewood. It burns hot, clean, and totally predictably.
Moving right along to Section 2, Direct Heat Cooking Methods. This is all about those immediate, zero-gear meals. So let's look at stick cooking. It's the absolute most fundamental survival technique out there, just skewering your food over an open flame. But there's a golden rule of the wild here. You absolutely must use a living green branch for your skewer. Why? Well, that internal moisture acts like a protective shield. If you grab a dead, dry stick, it's just going to burn right through and drop your hard-earned dinner straight into the ashes. And nobody wants that.
Next up is hot stone cooking. Imagine throwing a fresh cut of meat onto a superheated, flat rock and hearing that instant sizzle. These dense, flat stones are literally nature's cast iron skillets. You heat them up directly in the fire and they hold and radiate that heat beautifully, searing meat or roasting wild veggies perfectly. But you've got to pay close attention to this next part.
Because this is absolutely crucial. A massive safety warning. Never, ever use wet rocks or rocks pulled from a riverbed. If moisture is trapped inside a porous rock, the intense heat turns it into steam. And since that steam has nowhere to escape, the pressure just builds and builds until the rock literally explodes, sending dangerous shrapnel flying everywhere. Always, always source dry rocks from high ground.
Okay, Section 3, Cooking with Natural Vessels. Let's explore how we can use nature's own packaging to safely steam, bake, and boil.
First up here is leaf wrap cooking. You can basically think of this as nature's aluminum foil. You wrap your food up tight in some large leaves and tuck that packet right near the hot coals. As it cooks, you'll see steam gently whispering out. It seals in all the moisture, keeps the ash completely off your food, and even infuses it with a fantastic, subtle, earthy flavor. Just remember survival step number 1 here. Positively identify the plant. You have to ensure those leaves are non-toxic, so stick to safe bets like banana, burdock, or wild grape leaves.
And here's a brilliantly resourceful technique, bamboo cooking. This perfectly shows how to use natural materials to their absolute limit. You take a piece of fresh, green bamboo and chop it just above one of its solid natural nodes. Boom! You've got a seamless, leak-proof pot. Fill it with water in your food, then prop it directly over the clean flames. Because that green bamboo holds such a high water content naturally, it can withstand the direct heat without burning through, while the liquid inside comes to a perfect boil. It's like a wild pressure cooker.
All right, on to Section 4, Earth and Ash Baking. This is where we turn the ground itself into a highly insulated primitive oven.
We're talking about pit cooking and ash cooking.
Pit cooking is basically a primitive slow cooker, kind of like your traditional luau. You dig a hole, line it with scorching hot stones and coals, drop in your leaf-wrapped food, and bury the whole thing with dirt. It traps that radiant heat for hours. Plus, in a survival scenario, it's incredibly stealthy because it drastically reduces your smoke signature. Ash cooking is similar, but even simpler. You just bury thick foods like wild roots directly into a bed of warm ash. It bakes everything gently without charring the outside, leaving you to just peel the skin right off when it's done.
Then we have natural clay cooking, which honestly might be my absolute favorite survival hack. Get this, you take your completely uncleaned catch, like a small fish or a game bird, and encase the whole thing in a thick layer of wet mud or clay. Toss it right by the fire. That clay bakes into a rock-hard shell, steaming the meat perfectly in its own juices. And here's the absolute magic trick. When it's done and you crack that hardened shell open, all the scales or feathers stick right to the clay and peel away instantly. Perfectly clean, cooked meat with practically zero prep.
Moving into the final stretch, Section 5, boiling and meat preservation. These are the advanced skills you need for safe drinking water and keeping your food supply secure long-term.
So, check out this genius hack for purifying water: boiling with hot stones. You'll use this when your container absolutely cannot handle direct fire. We're talking hollowed-out logs or leather pouches. What you do is heat up dry, safe stones in your fire, then carefully transfer them straight into your water container. The second those superheated rocks hit the liquid, there's a massive transfer of thermal energy. It brings the water to a rolling boil almost instantly, all without destroying your primitive pot. It's a real game changer. And of course, we have to talk preservation. Wooden skewer drying is a classic. You just use the ambient warmth near the fire to slowly evaporate moisture from thin strips of meat, dehydrating it into jerky to stop it from spoiling. Then you've got smoke cooking. This method hits the meat with indirect heat and heavy, heavy wood smoke. It doesn't just add an amazing flavor. The smoke actually deposits natural antimicrobial compounds right onto the meat's exterior. Combined with the heat, it creates a totally inhospitable zone for bacteria. It's absolutely essential for keeping your food safe long after your fire dies down. Finally, Section 6, the ultimate primitive kitchen. Let's look at how all these elements come together to totally empower your wilderness skills. Well, we've covered a ton of ground today. From managing the glowing embers of a keyhole fire, to boiling water inside a wooden log, to locking down your long-term food supply with smoke. So here's my question for you. Which of these 12 primitive cooking methods would you try first in a real survival scenario? Are you going for that magical clay baking hack, or maybe rigging up a bamboo pressure cooker? Sound off in the comments below. I really want to hear what you think. And hey, if you enjoyed this explainer and want to keep mastering these off-grid skills with us, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Thanks so much for joining me by the Primitive Hearth, and we'll see you in the next one.